Welcome back. Now there's a masterclass in palmiers and cheese straws coming your way very shortly. We'll be joining a festive glazed ham from Mr. Paul Ainsworth a little bit later. But first, I'm here with a singer whose songs have soundtracked our lives ever since her first hit in the charts back in the 1980s. It's the brilliant, amazing King Wilde. This is a pinch yourself moment for me because you're back here. This is the second time you've been to my house.
Yes.
Thank you for coming back as well.
Oh, it's lovely.
It's a
at
pleasure
Christmas.
cooking for you and chatting to you as well.
It looks beautiful. It's like a Christmas
You like
grotto.
it? It's the festive little grotto over here.
Beautiful.
Got my elves over here as well.
Little elves.
One over there.
I got
He
Paul.
refused to wear the hat. The jumper was, but also the jumper near the fire was never going to happen. So,
and this is the itchiest jumper.
You know what? It looks really itchy.
Yeah, it is.
It does. I was itching even before I sat next to you.
Yeah.
Right, so we're going to do roast chicken, but we're going to do roast chicken on the barbecue because we want to warm ourselves up this Christmas. We've got barbecue over here. I've got a roast chicken, but we're going to do it with sort of Thai spices, really, with Thai influence. So I'm going to basically just make our little stuffing. We've got in here, all I'm going to do is just blend a few bits and pieces, some herbs, some lemon, some chicken. Actually going to blend some chicken mince over here. Add a little bit of soy, a little bit of sesame, and then we're going to put it underneath the chicken breast. So I'm going to get on and do that. If you can then sort of loosen up the chicken, that's the glamorous job, innit, that bit? I'm going to do all that.
Loosen up the chicken.
Well, loosen up the chicken. How do you say that? Put your fingers up the chicken's skin. Right there. Anyway, you know what I mean. You know exactly what I mean.
See, because you're going to put all the stuff under the skin.
That's exactly. There's no easy way of saying that.
No,
but anyway, now you've pinpointed it and the camera's directly on it. Now we'll do that. That's that. So, Kim, happy Christmas. How's Christmas? How's Christmas for you then? Is it a quiet time in the house? Is it a busy time?
I mean, it is, you know, it is a quiet time. It's been a busy year, a lot of touring. I've been to Australia, Germany. I mean, there's been a lot going on live-wise. So, yeah, Christmas is about being at home, I think.
But you love your travelling, I know that you...
I love my travelling.
Do you get time much to visit these places when you're on the road? Because I guess, you know... Now you do, but back when it started for you in the 80s, it was just
it was non-stop. You know, literally, a lot of time in airports, a lot of time in dressing rooms, a lot of time in makeup. It was, you know, not got to see much of wherever I was. These days, I make more time to do that. You know, I've just been in Germany, Christmas markets, every place we went. I mean, it's just beautiful. It's lovely to see.
Can I talk about your early career before we talk about your new album and stuff? Can I talk about how it all started? Because it is a fascinating story when you speak to musicians how it all started, particularly the meteoric rise. As chefs, we sort of work in the kitchen, and then it suddenly goes bang, and then it stabilises. But yours was the pendulum went wallop. You did all manner of different jobs before you never wanted to be famous, did you?
I wasn't particularly driven to be famous. I wanted to be a session singer and be a backing vocalist, and then my brother and my father wrote an amazing song for me called Kids in America, and the rest is history. But, you know, my career has sort of been a back-to-front career, so I do a huge amount of live work now in these golden years almost. I'm almost in those golden years. What counts as golden years these days?
Well, I want to talk to you about the touring, but I want to talk about, you know, obviously the music, but particularly the family connection is strong throughout your career as well. That's the key. That's the key to you. It seems to me you had this tight knit group around you that.
I do. Yeah.
But that's been influential throughout your entire life in terms of and also with the new album.
Yeah, I mean, when I started my career, I was working very much, you know, on a creative level with my dad, Marty, and my brother, Ricky. I'm still working with Ricky. So music is just running through the genes of this family and doesn't seem to want to stop. You know, it's enduring. It's going on. My son is in the music industry. But it's changed
so much over... I mean, the music industry, of one industry that's gone... It's changed so much over the years.
Yeah,
particularly you were at its... Well, I'd say its peak because the 50s were amazing, 60s were amazing, but particularly that 80s time, that's when that kind of music just exploded.
It was amazing. I mean, I was just having makeup done. I was looking at the Top of the Pops facts, and I realised I'd been on it for nearly 20 times. So yeah, I've had a magical career that started just incredibly with that amazing start with with Kids in America, and it's been a bit of a roller coaster ever since. You know, I mean, it's been up and down. I mean, it's not like yourself, you know, where you kind of worked up to it, and now you're at this. You're a Michelin star chef, and you're, you know, you're really at the peak of your career, aren't you?
But how do you
like that as long as you keep cooking like that?
Yes.
We kind of seem to think we're in control of our job, but how is it with yours? Because this is the new album.
Oh, it is. Look,
this is the new, and fantastic. That it's still on vinyl, which is brilliant.
Yeah, vinyl's like selling a lot these days, isn't that crazy?
Brilliant. So tell us about the new album, because I've only listened to one track on it.
Yeah.
That's all I was allowed to download. We're going to play a second track in a minute.
Okay.
But you can tell it's you. You can tell it's the vibe of you. Straight away.
OK, well, it's produced by my brilliant brother, Ricky Wilde. A lot of it is written by him with myself or with my niece, Scarlett. And it's quite retro in a way. It's got a lot of 80s about it. It's got a bit of Duran Duran about it, and it's got a bit of Gary Newman about it, you know. So it's kind of borrows from the past often, as pop music often does. It's a sort of melange of styles and influences from... I mean, we grew up in the 60s, Ricky and I, so we have lots of influences from that decade as well as the 70s.
What was your influence, really? What was it from the 60s? What was your main one you would go to?
I would say probably Motown and the Supremes, the Ronettes, as I was growing up. I mean, of course, I love the Beatles. Why wouldn't you love them? So yeah, Motown and the Beatles, and that was it.
Well, yeah. we're gonna show a clip of it now, so you can prompt it. What's the name of the track?
It's called Midnight Train. I like a train, me.
Well, that's what it is. Enjoy this one. Never lost it. Never lost it. Look, so we've got in here. This is the chicken which we've put underneath. You then roast this in the oven, and then this has been pot roasting away in this sort of barbecue. And I love cooking outdoors, even at this time of the year. But look,
that looks.
You've got this post roast chicken. You just pop it in there. An hour and 15 minutes. We've got the broccoli in the oven as well. So tell me about touring then, because. Are you going to venture out in 2025? Are you going out again?
I am. I'm going out in March on the Closer tour, and I'll be singing most of the songs from the original Close album from '88, and then throwing in the tracks from the new album and all the greatest hits.
Yeah.
And then you can find out where I am and come and see us. And
because I guess we had Marty Pellow on the show on Christmas Day, and I guess it's people want to hear the classics as well. They want the new stuff. But I get you're like Marty. You've still got to give them the new stuff as well. That's the key to it.
Yeah, I mean, keep it. I love all the old hits, but I like to keep things relevant, and the new album is a real reflection of that. It's very, you know. So yeah, so there'll be tracks from the new album, but yeah, we'll be doing the old hits. Of course, we're not going to be a spoil sport about things.
Yeah.
You know, there's some great songs that people just still love to hear, and I still love to perform them.
Well, they even spend the time to this day, because when I knew you were coming on, I was driving the other day and I put your tracks on with the Kids in America. I did exactly the same as I did back in when I was a younger lad.
Yeah.
Turned the volume right up. This just reminds you. It is music reminds you of your childhood memories and stuff like that. Mine was going over from the Old of Oakham. Those people local to Yorkshire will know the bit of road between Pickering and Whitby, and there's this little big hole in the ground, all of Oakham.
Still there.
And that's there. And I was listening to your music many moons ago, but it's been a pleasure chatting to you. We're going to chat a little bit more as well. So before we go, give us the name of the album then, while Pip puts a little bit of the broccoli on it. OK, well, the new album's called Closer, and I'm touring with it next March. That's what it is. That's what it is. And then what we're going to do, look, we've just got our beautiful, look at this broccoli. Simply just roasted. It's nice and simple.
Simple. You
Simple
can't beat broccoli. I love broccoli.
Broccoli, and then I'm going to take some of this little salsa. So this is just wood-roasted broccoli. We've got a little bit of this salsa, and we just grab a good dollop of that over the top of the chicken.
That's the thing.
That's it. Just nice and simple, roasted on a barbecue. Easy as that. Thai flavours.
Lovely.
Bon appetit.
Wow.
Done.
Yummy, yummy.
Right, Kim, there you have it.
Ooh.
Mr. Ainsworth,
Thank
you have
you
to balance
very
that on your knee.
Thank
And
you.
then
so
you
much.
can do the chef's thing. You can go picking, But we're just saying that soy and chicken and stuff like that you can't beat, can you, really? But there's a little kick in that little green salsa, but...
Green salsa.
That salsa's beautiful.
It is, isn't it? We're just with a little bit of garlic. You just turned into a protein muncher, you have, haven't you? All I've seen him eat so far is just meat. That's
How does anyone eat a dinner like that with a fork?
yeah, well, he does.
I'll tell you what, I've hit my protein levels today.
Exactly. But it's really tasty. There you go.
It's
I'll be
really
serving
good.
I'll be serving another recipe for Kim and Russell Watson at the end of the show, and Mr. Paul Ainsworth. Yes, you. We'll be firing up the hubs a little bit later, but join us again after the break with the genius cocktail maker, Merlin Griffiths. Have you actually eaten everything for the last week? And we'll be turning my kitchen into the world's best bar. I'll see you after the break. Somebody tidy up after him. Welcome back. Now, if you're looking for some nibbles to wow the guests at this New Year's Eve party, then don't miss this week's little masterclass in cheese and palmier straws. There we go. But first, I'm here with all my guests, and we're going to start the New Year celebrations early with a little help from one of the best barmen in the business. It's the brilliant Merlin Griffiths.
Thank you, James.
Oh, exactly. This is what it should be. The legend, Mr. Merlin Griffiths. You are a superstar. So you're going to be doing two cocktails, one alcoholic, one non-alcoholic.
Yeah, exactly.
Similar sort of what we're going to talk about this
do that for you.
Well,
today.
so this is sort of the idea that I think when you look at distillers and the way that they sort of work, they've done a lot of the flavour work for you, right? So we're going to do a great cocktail called a last word, which I think is a wonderful way. It's the end of the year, right? The last word of the year we're going to have. But the non-alcoholic cocktails, right? You can slot that in there. I'll tell you what we're doing in a second.
Okay.
But the non-alcoholic cocktails, I think you need to put a bit of work into, because you don't drink, do you, Kim?
No, not
No.
alcohol, anyway.
Right. How long's that been for, by the way?
Nearly 9 years.
9 years, right, there we go. So I'm going to put a lot of work into this and make a switchel. In fact, I've named it after you. I'm going to call it a Wilde switchel, just
Okay,
for you.
lovely.
Ginger, chili,
I love
honey,
ginger. I
apple
love
cider
chili.
vinegar.
I love all of that. That's
And also,
fantastic.
you're leaving the interesting with this. You leave the skins on the ginger because they could produce an amazing natural heat with this.
They can, and that's exactly what you want.
So what have you put in there now? What is this that you've got in there now?
So, while that's reducing, our last word. It's a train wreck on paper, the last word. Equal parts gin, maraschino, green chartreuse, fresh lime. Remember maraschino? You used to see it like on your grandma's liquor trolley or something. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant stuff. It's
grandma's liquor trolley.
You know, it is. It's such an old-fashioned ingredient. Look, pop that. Have a little taste to see what it is. All right, it's a very old-fashioned ingredient, but used judiciously, it works really, really well. And it's equal parts of all here. All right, so a couple of shots of gin in each. I'm going to make 4 of them. We've got...
This is something else. Where does this originate from?
So that is Croatia, Dalmatian coast, that sort of area.
Right.
Originally, it used to be part of the province of Venice. The Italians had it. So the Italian guys who made grappa went over there and started making maraschinos with marasca cherries, these little small bitter cherries.
Right. And interestingly enough, chartreuse, I've actually... It was one of the first dishes I ever learned to cook with in France was with green chartreuse. Brilliant with banana, isn't it?
You're kidding? No, I've not tried it with banana.
Banana's amazing.
What on earth is the name?
Well, it was when I was 18 years old.
I mean, you know, my experience with that in France was always with hot chocolate.
Really? I was a bit blurred at the time, but that was but with the banana was amazing. This stuff is quite strong, though, and it's quite like it's syrupy.
Yeah, it's sweet. It's sort of got like a nutty grappa-esque kind of flavour to it as well. It doesn't really taste very much of the cherries, but I think it just adds that extra layer of complexity.
So this is the non-alcoholic version. So once we get this reduced down, in we go with our honey.
Honey, about 4 tablespoons goes in there. Yeah, good. Yeah, a goodly amount because you'll see we need it.
Vinegar?
Vinegar we can add, yeah.
So this is apple vinegar?
That's apple vinegar. Yeah, about 80 ml, 80 to 100 ml, small wine glassful in there, just enough to balance out the sweetness and juice of half a lemon.
Juice of half a lemon.
And then that can go off the heat, let it cool, and now you'd let that infuse overnight.
So just leave it in the fridge overnight?
Leave it in the fridge overnight,
yeah.
And when you get to the end, you bottle it up.
Lovely.
And you end up with some Wilde Switchel cordial.
Switchel cordial, lovely.
As it were, which we're now going to build into our drinks.
So we'll get onto the alcoholic one in a second, which we're going to do. So let's finish off this one first, then.
Let's do that. So we're just going to ice up our glasses, and you see, and this is the other nice thing. You see, if you put in this work before people come round to your house, all right, then you're ready just to do it nice and simply. Ooh, the ice is escaping everywhere.
I've got that one. Don't worry. There you go. So tell us about the pub that you've got, because now you've got a pub, 2024, you've got a pub.
That's right, yeah, absolutely.
How do you feel about that?
It's a rough game, but people are coming, they like it. Do you know, we started doing roasts now as well, you know.
I'm not surprised they like it if you've got you on your doorstep, to be honest, behind the bar.
And my beautiful wife as well, you know. So she's in there, she cooks as well for the roast once a month. Everyone likes a good roast in a pub, I think. You know, it's one of the things I think makes a good country pub.
Right, so we got the switchel bit in here.
Lovely, yeah. So now we mix up our switchel. Nice sort of a good lug, double measure-ish, all right? As you said, with those ginger skins and the chilli. And
you get this natural heat from the skins, that I'm saying. Yeah.
And now, meanwhile, lovely Paul here has been finely slicing some... This is a little secret weapon again. Finely slicing some bird's eye chilies.
He's been very quiet, I know that for a fact.
I can't work out whether this is an actual job or Merlin's stitching having a big laugh in my face. Fish pie is still in the oven, burning me back.
Exactly.
Exactly, as if you weren't hot enough. Yes. But no, finely slicing the chilies and keeping them in some very cold water. The longer you keep them in there, the more the chilies blossom.
So is this one you would stir, or are you quite happy? I think it looks good like that.
I'm quite happy like this. I might just give it just a little jiggle, right, just to mix it up. And now you can get creative with your mixers on a switchel.
So what tonic have you got? What is that?
A Spanish clementine tonic. Okay. So we got that lovely sweet orange flavours coming through. The ginger, the chilli, the honey, the lemon, little swizzle, and look what happens to our chilies when you soak them in the water. Isn't that lovely? They turn into little flowers.
Right. That's beautiful. Well, it does.
Thank you, Kim.
Yeah, well done.
This is what bartenders do. We just mess around with things rather than cook with them. We just...
Hang on, Merlin. Look at that one.
Right.
That's a beauty. Look at that.
Well, I'm gonna pass one over to Pip, one over to Kim, and you've got to wait, Russell, for the next one. There you have it. I'll leave the other two there. Dive into that one.
Done. Thank you.
Yes,
thank you so much, Chef.
Tell us what's happening to the next one. I will leave those there.
Right, so
I'll
now...
give you that one, Chief. There you go.
Thank you.
Let's do last words. By the way, how do you find this?
Cheers. Oh.
I'm looking at you and you, Pip, because you guys both...
Amazing. Yeah.
Works for you?
Yeah.
It should have a little fire.
Yeah, no, nice fiery bit at the end.
It's the heat of the ginger, isn't it? It's
Yeah, I love that.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love that. And it looks gorgeous,
That's
too.
lovely. That's
not
We've got to wait, Russell. We've got to wait.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
It's worth it, mate. It's worth it.
And it's a traditional sort of thing, I think. And as I say, it's worth putting the work in for the flavour with soft drinks rather than just pulling a
So with
off-the-shelf soda.
this, just to recap, is this the classic version? This is...
So, right, yeah, this is a classic last word. I don't feel any need to change it. There are variants on this, you're right. The paper plane was a variant, Naked and Famous. I'll have to make some of those for you at some point.
Naked and Famous, paper plane. Where are all these things coming from?
Seriously. Do you know what? Mainly America as well, because this is where the last word really kicked off. It was rediscovered about 10 years ago by a lovely bartender, rest in peace, man by the name of Murray Stenson, who ran the Zigzag Cafe. And it really caught on. And because of its ease, right, it's those equal parts. One part gin, one part that, one part that, one part lime, right, across the board. When you get simple recipes like this, I'm sure you must do the same as a chef, you start going, well, what if I swap that for that?
Yeah.
And that for that, will it work? If I swap my lemon for lime, I'll swap my gin for mezcal, or, you know, and so on. I'll swap my chartreuse for Aperol or something. Yeah, and you end up with a whole raft of new serves. There you go, give them a quick shake. And we're going to strain those off into our glasses, garnish them with a cherry. Actually, do you want to pour those?
Yeah,
That'll do
course.
too, thank you. I'm going to crack this.
So not over ice this time, you put it with ice.
Yeah,
as in
shaken
chill the
in ice
drink.
and served up. There you call it, straight up.
I'm pouring cocktails with Merlin. I know. It's good. Living the dream.
I know. Well, the idea is to make up a show and then just invite him on every now and then. It's amazing. He hasn't caught out yet, but don't tell him.
I was making cocktails with Leicester's Tom Cruise.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. It is.
Oh, sorry, I forgot a cherry. This. Oh, sorry.
Got to have the
Oh, these are amazing, though.
You know about these?
Know about them. I've been a pastry chef for 35 years. These, have you tasted these?
Yeah, they're incredible.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Kim, these are incredible. But look, that you just taste. And
it means when you
have
get
a
to
taste
the
of this, then Russell. Go on, dive in.
So the thing is, when you get to the end of the drink there, you get that little cherry sweetness right at the end.
How good was that?
Stunning. This is beautiful.
Delicious.
Love this.
It's good to have them at your house every Christmas.
It
you
is.
see, anyway,
Yeah.
Happy with that, Kim?
Beautiful, absolutely perfect.
Worth the effort as well.
Well done,
Pip's just smile on face as well. They're brilliant, Merlin Griffiths, everybody. Now, I'll be cooking for all this like at the end of the show, and Paul will be putting a chefy spin on a classic glazed ham with eggs and chips a little bit later as well.
Bit of pineapple.
But don't forget the pineapple, of course. I will see you back here for an unmissable little masterclass in cheese straws and palmiers in a bit. See you after the break.
Beautiful.